Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Euro Truck Simulator 2. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit differently. We are in the Scandinavia DLC. So before I get started, I need to thank Alex for getting me a code to the Scandinavia DLC. And we'll go ahead and check on the map where we are. So we're pretty much just inside. So here's Kill or something. I don't know. I'm not good at pronouncing names and it's not going to get any better with the Scandinavia DLC. So not even going to bother. But here is where the top of the map used to be pretty much. I took a delivery all the way from my garage in Verona. So I pretty much drove all the way across Europe. Now I'm in, just entered, I believe this is, someplace. It's someplace over here. So we're going to try to find deliveries and kind of just check out the new area. So this all pretty much from here up, all this. I don't know why it said I've already discovered these two cities. I have never been there. I haven't even driven on roads to there, so I'm not sure why I've discovered them. So that's a little weird. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and check out the Scandinavia DLC. So yeah, I have to thank Alex for getting me a code. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to get it. And another thing, just before I get started, there will be a link in the description to a Teespring campaign. I am selling shirts. This is something that I've done in the past, but I only shared it on Twitter and Facebook. I never mentioned it in the YouTube video. But this will be the first time that I'm mentioning it. As of right now, I believe there's 40 shirts left, or 41 shirts left. And there is about 20 days left. Well, yeah, no, I think by the time you see this, there'll be about 20 days left. They range anywhere from $20 to $25, and then there's sweatshirts, which I think are $30, $35 or something like that. But if you're interested in a shirt, you can go down in the description and find the Teespring link and go and you can reserve a shirt. The shirts won't ship and you won't get charged for them until the campaign's over. So that is June 10th. So if you want to get a shirt, you can do that. And the money that I get from shirts is actually going to go into pretty much filling the gap of the money that I literally just spent right before recording to get a new wheel. Because I don't know if you guys will be able to hear this, but my G27, it sounds... That's literally me just turning it right. I'm not turning it hard, I'm turning it like I normally would. So the force feedback engines in my G27 wheel are just shot. And, you know, I needed the money to get a new wheel. So I went ahead and just purchased it because I need a new wheel. I want to bring you guys Euro trucks, and I love doing project cars, and I just, you know, I really wanted a wheel. So I went ahead and ordered that. So all the money that I will get from the campaign will pretty much go into just replacing the gap of the money that I spent on the wheel. So yeah, we'll get more into that, but let's go ahead and just jump in and try to find a job market, which is, all right. So we'll see. We want to go somewhere north. That's not north. That's not north. That's not north. That's not north. Here we go. IKEA. Empty pallets. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could do that. So we're in Denmark right now, and we can go to Norway. Let's see if there's just anything else. Yeah. No. Oh, I mean, that kind of works. Yeah, let's do that. I want to do that. I want to go into... Oh, that's even better, actually. There's a lot of weird new stuff. Used packaging and all that. So this one, let's see. This one is how long is it? I can't remember. Where are the miles? Aren't they on there somewhere? Oh, they're up here. So... Yeah, let's go ahead and just do this one, because I'm not sure. I don't want to be here forever. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this one, because I want to get into Sweden. I want to go into Sweden. So, go ahead and start the truck up. Make sure that everything's good. Why don't I have my lights on? Oops, might help if I'm in a gear. So yeah, I have the force feedback on the wheel pretty much plugged in. If I unplug it, I don't have force feedback, but I have it plugged in right now. Oh god. So you guys are gonna hear it. It's very noisy, but I might end up having to unplug it, which really sucks because that means I have no center spring, so it's pretty much wherever I leave the wheels, wherever it stays. That kind of sucks. But yeah, I don't know what happened. It was after a long day of, you know, Project Cars. I think it was about I don't know. It was a long day of Project Cars. And the next day, I get on to do more Project Cars, and it's making this terrible clunky noise. I tried to open it up. There was no gearing. I thought maybe I could see a gear or something that might have been like out of place or broken or something. Like maybe I could see anything by opening it up. Didn't really give me any new information. So I think, holy shit, that guy was kind of coming over. I think just one of the motors is just finally, I mean, I've had this wheel for a very long time, so now also making a terrible like noise when I hold it in a position for too long. While the force feedback motors are on. So yeah, it's trashed. It is what it is. I mean, I've had this wheel for a long time and I do beat up on it. I mean, you know, when you do games like Project Cars or racing in general, you can't be afraid to yank the wheel because that'll save you from spinning. And I think just over a very long time, just the force feedback motors are just giving out. So it is what it is. G27 is still a really great wheel. I still highly recommend it. I mean, for those of you that are interested, what gear am I in right now? Okay, for those of you that are interested in wheels, I still do recommend the G27. So I went ahead and just bought a replacement because it not only does it sound terrible, it feels clunky in my hands. It feels like something isn't correct in my hands. And I know that's a terrible quote, but it's true. It's like it gets caught up on itself inside, so it's not good. So I just went ahead and just ordered a replacement because I just, you know, I want to bring you guys good driving videos. What? That's not it, is it? Wow. So the Scandinavia DLC is completely different, and I'm having a real tough time with these like pickups and drop-offs because they're so different. I mean, it's really cool. I really like it, but it's just like crazy different. Okay, so this has to be it. Oh my god, that is so bad. Okay, so yeah, like I said, I'm probably gonna end up unplugging the power for the force feedback. All right, let's go ahead and pick up the used packaging. 19 tons of used packaging. Take it into Sweden. I love these. Look at these. I love these drop-offs and these pickups. They're so cool. All right. Let's go ahead and just get this here. God, that is horrific. By the way, yeah, every time you guys hear that, I feel it in my wheel. So it's definitely, it's not good. But it is what it is. Like I said, I've had this wheel for a very long time, so I'm not too disappointed with it. All right, so we are good. Turn off those and let's get out of here. So this is going to be a 473 kilometer trip. It's going to take us 7 hours and 38 minutes. We're going to get there at Tuesday at 4:30 if we keep going on our current speed, which is nothing pretty much. I thought a car might be coming. God, that is so bad. Okay. I'm just trying to get out of this so I can keep reading. Okay, so we need to get there between Tuesday at 4:45. I'm sorry, 2:45, and Tuesday at 9:23. Is that 9:2100? Is that 9? I think it is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Shit. Brakes. And we have, what, 12 hours to complete the job. We need to rest in 10, so we won't need to rest on this trip, which is good. And we're going to make almost 14,000 euro, so pretty good. And I know some of you in the comments want me to use, like, you know, miles and dollars and whatnot. I am just not going to do that because it's Euro truck, and it's more difficult to just do the conversion to dollars or to, you know, miles or gallons or whatever, and set, you know, because everything else is in kilometers and all that. It's all, you know, metric. So converting it to what we use is it's just too much of a hassle. So for Euro Truck, I'm just gonna leave it in metric and just use all that. And for what American Truck Sim comes out one day, maybe, then of course I'll use, you know, Imperial. And we can actually know what I'm talking about, because I have no idea how much. I mean, 14,000. Look at it this way. I look at it as 14,000 euro is just $14,000. That's what I look at it as. I mean, it's not legit at all, but whatever. You know, money right now isn't an option. I mean, it is an option, but it's not a worry for us in this game, just because we have a lot of drivers and I'm not in debt, and I have like 8 trucks on the road with 8 drivers, so I'm really not concerned about money. I just do it because it's fun. It's fun to do. So yeah, Scandinavia DLC. It's really cool. I'm really liking it so far. It looks, I mean, like this, just the highway looks different. You know, the surroundings. The roads look the same, which makes sense, but the surroundings look a lot different. And the drop-off points in the cities, like that city back there had a lot of intersections there was no lights. There was just yield signs, which was really cool. So, oh wait, you know what I need to do real quick? This is not legit, and I apologize, but we need to go in the game. Always takes a really long time to do that. We need to turn that back on, and we're good. Alrighty. Yeah, I turned that off because when I wasn't recording and I needed to get from Verona to the new DLC area, it was going to take forever. Like, literally, it was going to take a long time. So I turned off the truck speed limiter and just kind of went crazy because it wasn't like an official run, technically. I was just trying to get there. So, it is what it is. But I turned it back on. You know, got to be legit. So, but yeah, I mean, look at this. Oops, that's not how you look. Look at this. There's a boat right there. Windmills in the water. Lighthouse. I mean, the Scandinavia DLC is amazing. It makes sense why they want... I think when it's not on sale, I think it's going to be $20. And it does make sense why they do want that money for it. Because it's just... they put a lot of work into it. A lot of work. But I believe it's on sale currently. I think you can get it for like $17 or something. So yeah, my wheel broke and I needed to get a new one. So I went ahead and just ordered a new one, and I got the Fanatec Porsche 911 GT3 V2. I know that's a huge mouthful, but the reason why I decided to get that wheel was Fanatec makes really good products. I mean, Logitech, you know, the G27 is a great product, and I'm in no way sponsored by any of these people, which I wish. But Logitech makes great products. Fanatec makes great products. Thrustmaster also makes great products. I just couldn't find a Thrustmaster wheel that I was really like, oh man, that one's really, really good. So I went with the Fanatec because I went to Fanatec's site and I set up I kind of did my dream setup of just like, I went crazy. Like, I didn't look at price. I was just like, oh, let's just kind of mess around and see what it would be to get like everything that I wanted. And it came out to like $1,700. So I was like, well, that'll never happen. So, you know, I was looking around and I was like, okay, well, that was fun to do, just to look at how much I will never spend on a racing setup, or not at once at least. Maybe I'll buy the pedals and then months later buy like the shifter, and then months later buy, you know, something. So, but so I was looking around and I was like, okay, so I want to try to find a wheel. I don't want to spend like a crazy amount of money on one. Initially, I was like, let me just go buy another G27 because I really like it. And I'm looking around and I can buy a brand new G27 in the box for like, I think the cheapest I saw was like $220. And that was like going on eBay. It was getting to that point where it was like eBay, you know, trying to find, you know, but it was brand new. And then, but then I thought about it and I was like, okay, I'm going to spend $200, over $200, and I'm going to get a wheel, another shifter, and another set of pedals. That shifter and set of pedals aren't going to do anything. They're just going to sit around and do nothing. So then what? Am I going to try to sell a shifter and pedals without the wheel? Like, or they're just going to sit in a box and collect dust and do nothing? So I'm like, I don't really have a need for another shifter and another set of pedals. So I was like, you know, I was like, $200, that's a lot of money, you know? I mean, that's still a lot of money, and I'm getting things that I don't need, so I was thinking, well, let me look around and see what other kind of wheels are out there, because I don't need the shifter and I don't need the pedals anymore, because I have the 3 pedals, so I have the one with the clutch and the shifter, the H-pattern shifter, which is kind of the reason why I went with the G27, is because you can get all that. You can get a wheel and a... I don't know what that is. Somebody is calling me, but I'm not sure who it is, so I'm not going to answer it. So yeah, you can get pedals and a shifter and all that, and it's just... Oh God, I totally lost my train of thought. Just completely gone. So yeah, I would have another pair that I just have no idea what I'm going to do with. So I thought, you know what, let me look around, let me see what I can find. Maybe I can spend under $200 on just a wheel. I was trying to find a G27 wheel by itself, but that was just not happening. So I was looking around, I was like, well, let's see what I can do. So I went back to Fanatec's site, and I started to look at just their racing wheels, like not, you know, a custom setup of like a massive, you know, holy crap, a plane landing or crashing, hopefully landing. Holy shit, that is so close. That is amazing. There must have been a airport over there or something. That was awesome. But yeah, so, you know, I was looking around and I came across the Porsche 911 GT2 wheel, which was like $250 or something. And I was looking at that and I was like, oh man, this one looks like a really nice wheel. And I was like, yeah, $250 though, and I'm only getting a wheel. And it's like, well, that's kind of good. I don't have a shifter and pedals that are just going to go to waste. But I was like, man, $250 for just a wheel is a lot of money. And I was looking around and I was like, ah, man, it's a good wheel. And I was trying to find like Thrustmaster. They didn't have anything that kind of interests me. And I was like, man, I don't know what to do. So I was looking around, and then I decided to compare the Porsche 911 GT3 V2 to the new GT2. And they're pretty much the same wheel. Oh, I just got an achievement for something. Probably like discovering this, entering Sweden or something like that. But, you know, I was like, oh man, you know, I really want to... that wheel was really nice. And I was like, well, what's the difference? Why do they have these two different options? So I was looking at them, and there's really very minor differences between those two wheels, but the price difference is, like $70. You know, so the GT3 V2 is only, it's, oh shoot, there's no thing here. I have to go to this one. Oh God. But yeah, so the, oh, that's like a fast track. Could I have gone through that? Shit. Brakes not the greatest. What's happening here? This is weird. But yeah, so, Jesus, there's so much. I'm just gonna get all the way over. So there's very minor differences between those two wheels. Like, the cheaper option doesn't have like a 360. It doesn't work with the Xbox 360, which is fine. I'm only gonna use it for PC. It doesn't have like a 360 headset plug-in. You can't do it wirelessly, which I wouldn't even wanted to do in the first place. You can't do, there's like minor differences, but pretty much the hardware is the same thing. It's the same wheel, and more importantly, what I was really interested in that wheel for is the force feedback. And force feedback is a big thing. I mean, it's very important because all the feeling, because you're not actually in the car, you don't get it through the seat, all the feeling is in the wheel. And the G27 has 2 force feedback motors in it, so it's really, you know, some wheels only have 1, and you can get some force feedback, but it's kind of pretty much just vibration. But with the Logitech, the G27, you can actually feel that force feedback, the 2 motors kind of working. They kind of do, you know, their own independent thing, and it causes it to, you know, you can feel it kind of working against each other, so it adds a little more than just vibration. You can actually feel the wheel like pulling in different directions. So force feedback was very important, and I was looking at the GT2 or GT3 V2, and both of them have the same motors, and they're 3 force feedback motors, and the main motor is belt driven. So belt driven is really good. That's kind of like the top end. Like if you want a good force feedback, you get belt driven because that's really, really good. So it's belt driven and it has 2 extra motors in there, one for braking and one for accelerating. So as you're braking, if you're braking really hard, it'll set off one force feedback to kind of simulate that the car is stopping really hard and give you that kind of shake in the wheel. And then you'll have we're actually going to stop up here for a second. I need to get something to drink. I am thirsty. But then you'll have the other force feedback motor, which will be accelerator. So as you go through, you know, the speed and kind of get up into the high RPMs and stuff, it will kind of vibrate too, which is pretty cool. And then the main, like what you feel on the wheel is belt driven. So it's a really nice wheel, and pretty much there's no difference between the GT3 unless you plan on using it on a console. But if you're just going to use it for PC, go with the GT3 V2 and save yourself $70. So that's what I did. So yeah, I'm going to get something to drink real quick and I'll be right back.